Hey guys, Helen Hartsmith here again from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel. I hope you're having a good day. Happy spring for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere that celebrate, or that, well, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, then it is spring. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, then you've just begun autumn. So, happy season change to everyone. This is, today what I want to talk about is like some practical things when it comes to your practice, your path, and how you work your practice or walk your path, especially if you find yourself in a situation where you are just incredibly busy. And this actually comes from I'm bringing this from a place of knowing, because for the last almost a month now, my work has kind of been kicking my hiney. I have been going into work really early. I'm not necessarily a night owl, but I'm not necessarily an oh dark 100 person either. And so I've had to get up 2 hours earlier than what I normally do for my commute into work. And so I've been working on multiple projects. And so when you work that much and have that much to deal with, there are definitely things that fall to the wayside. Definitely, your housework is affected. I have been completely wiped out. Just tired. I've been working 4 10-hour days, which is, it still constitutes a 40-hour week, but with the pressures and stuff that I've been working on, some really physical things and such. And so Thursday comes and I'm napping on the couch hardcore. And so it got me thinking, because I've been reflecting back on the weeks and I haven't been necessarily keeping up with my practice. And so how do you deal with that? How do you find the balance between living your life and getting the things done that need to get done and fulfilling your spiritual needs? And so I've been thinking about that, and I think not beating yourself up has to be the first thought that you need to have when it comes to questioning, am I doing enough spiritually? Am I doing things right? Am I just doing? So I wanted to talk about, how I'm kind of dealing with and trying to maintain a balance with life and my practice. Well, I mean, that my practice is my life. So how do I keep all that fulfilled and balanced and live a happy life? So I think one thing that I've really been leaning on is at the beginning of the year, I set up some daily goals for myself. Some very basic things that I wanted to accomplish daily, that I felt kept me in a rhythm, in a day-to-day rhythm. And the intention wasn't necessarily again, don't beat yourself up. The intention is, okay, I would like to do these every day, but if I don't, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. So the things that I do or try to do on a daily basis is I try to read 5 pages. And so I'm really trying to concentrate on my witchy books, on my metaphysical books, the things that occupy these bookshelves behind me that I haven't necessarily read from cover to cover. I'm making a point to try to read those and educate myself more. So reading 5 pages a day helps you to move through that process. And you know what? Sometimes I am I'm feeling really good about myself if I just read and turn the page. Sometimes it's the smallest things is what's going to get you through not thinking you're total wipeout and things, okay? And sometimes it's a fiction book, and that's okay too. Reading is fundamental. Somebody said that once. Another thing that I am looking at, or that I'm trying to do every day, is divination. Usually it's a tarot card, mostly because I have a small deck that travels with me back and forth in my purse. So if I'm at work, try to do it at work if I've got 5 minutes to pull a card, and I'm logging things too. I've created some documents that that I print and put into my planner, so I have a log of the cards that I pull, or the rune that I pull, the pendulum that I might do, something along those lines. So some form of divination. And a lot of times it just happens to be, what should I be thinking about today? What should I know about today? I don't always have, a grand question that I'm answering or that I'm asking. Sometimes it's just, what do I need to know today? What do I need to think about? So divination is a great thing too. I also try to do one act of magic every day. And this can be something as simple as initiating a protection shield around your vehicle as you drive to work. This is especially a good thing if you have a commute, and this is something that I tend to do mostly, especially because the time that I'm going into work, it's dark. And, deer scare the bejesus out of me, and I don't want to hit one. So, sometimes that shield, I think, makes a big difference in me getting from home to work and back again safely. So that's an act of magic. Sometimes it's sending energetic assistance for healing or support or love to someone in our life. Something along those lines. An act of magic really helps me feel connected to my witchiness. Meditation is another thing. Meditation for me is probably, of this list that I'm covering of my daily goals, medication is definitely my weak point. It is the thing that if I get everything done in a day but one thing, it's going to be meditation that doesn't happen. I want to talk about it now. I recently watched a video from a new YouTuber, and I don't remember the channel. I've only watched a couple of her videos, so I'm still kind of feeling out her content. I think it's the Cottage Witch or something like that. If I can find her, I'll put a link to her channel down below. But she did a video talking about practices for a new witch. And I like to check out advice that people might give to people that are new to the path. That kind of really tells quite a bit about what their practice is like, and if I want to check them out more. And one thing that she talked about is a daily meditation, which is very important and helpful. But she talked about the fact that 5 minutes is enough. 5 minutes while you sit down with your cup of coffee. 5 minutes. I've talked with teachers before about meditating with some success in the shower, and I kind of got scoffed at about it. But I think that, I think there's some value to this notion of 5 minutes in the shower, of just letting that water beat down on you. 5 minutes, getting to work 5 minutes earlier and having that 5 minutes before you head in. Those types of things can be very valuable, and while a minimal amount of time can provide a maximum amount of healthy brain function for your day. So meditate, that really gave me something to think about, and something that I'm going to try to implement more, finding that 5 minutes somewhere. Okay. The last thing that I try to do daily is journal. And I've been doing way better with journaling this year than I have in past years. A lot of times I say, okay, I'm going to be really good about journaling. And I do it for about a month, and then it kind of falls off, kind of like meditation. And it's all about making the time. And sometimes it's just a short recap of what the day was like, or maybe it's a couple of sentences about something big that happened that day. But a journal entry for me is a journal entry, and it is a win. So those are the daily goals that I'm trying to keep up on. As just bare minimum sounds like, you're really downplaying something, but man, when you're having a tough time, and sometimes that bare minimum is what you got in your arsenal, and you got to do it. Okay. So those daily goals can really become a lifeline when it comes to your spiritual practice. Another important thing is self-care. I think since reading Erin Murphy Hiscock's book on the Witch's Book of Self-Care, I really come back to, listening to yourself. What do you need? And sometimes if you just need to come home and take a nap because you literally do not have the brain activity to do anything else, then take a nap. I mean, if you're going to do something and do it clumsily, then why not take a nap and then try to do it afterward? I mean, that's kind of my thought process on it. So self-care is important. Take a bath, paint your toenails, have a cup of tea, watch Bridgerton again. Those types of things. Okay. I also tried to think about, my daily goals, not necessarily like super time consuming. So I thought, well, what else is there that ways that you can make connections on a spiritual level that don't take a lot of time, that you can fit in, in a 5-minute period or a 2-minute period or what have you. I really love the idea of lighting a candle or lighting an incense and just having like some intention with it. It's not like you're lighting a candle for magic, but if you're lighting a candle just with the intention of, I'm going to have my 5 minutes of meditation, or I'm having my morning coffee before I, do this list of to-do things that I need to get accomplished today. Things like that. I've been finding myself keeping a candle on my desk at work, and I honestly think that it helps my focus. Maybe that's because I'm an Aries sign. I don't know. The cool thing about candles too is you can get a scent that sparks whatever you need, whether it's focus, whether it's clarity, whether it's happiness, something along those lines. Or if you can't do a scent, then maybe you do something that is an unscented candle, and have that. I find that I light a candle, and that is a connection for me. Just because over my years of practice, and lighting so many candles, that it literally becomes an act of intention for whatever's needed, kind of a thing. We talked about meditation and short meditations. I thought I had that further on the list, but I went ahead and dove in anyhow earlier when I was talking about my my goals for the day, my daily goals. Another thing that I try to do too is I try to message someone. And this is actually a really amazing thing that the roomie's mother I haven't really talked about this, but I was actually friends with the roomie's mom before I knew the roomie. And so her and I go like way farther back than the roomie and I. Well, not way, but I mean, there was a chunk of time before I met the roomie. Anyhow, her mom started, I don't even know how long she's been doing it. It's been quite a few months. She sends a message to me every day, and I find myself looking forward to that message and that little bit of interaction that I might have with her. And so I try to do that like with Coven Sisters, with maybe my brother, maybe with the roomie or Lee or something like that. That little connection with people that are important to you in your life, that's really fulfilling for my soul. And so hopefully that idea kind of resonates with some of you out there as well. And it's something that really doesn't take that long, hence the in these short, connections in no time section. I also try to keep up on my offerings. What I have done for a daily practice for myself is I've set up days of the week. 6 out of the 7 days, I try to give offerings every day, whether it be a thank you to some spirit guide, whether that be a physical offering. I've actually been trying to give like the first sip of my coffee lately to my various guides. Things like that. I really feel that connection with them, even if I haven't necessarily interacted with them in some other purpose. I feel like it links me with them, and at least they know that I haven't forgotten them. So a daily offering is really helpful for that as well. Another thing that I was thinking about that I think I'm going to try this a little bit more. I had the idea of talking to your guides, like while you were in the shower. And this kind of comes back to that whole meditation idea. But if you've got something that you have to do to prepare for your day, take a shower, do your hair, brush your teeth, make your coffee. If you're waiting for that coffee to drip, then you've got 30 seconds to a minute just to say, hey, Odin Father, I know today's gonna be a bit trying. I've got a lot of things on my plate that I need done. Can you help me focus so that I accomplish everything that I need to get done and have it done correctly? Those types of things. Some people might think that having that kind of interaction might be like not a great thing to do because you're not like giving enough honor to a spirit guide or what have you. But I think that if you're doing it with sincerity and you're doing it in the time that you have, then at least try it. If you get no response or you get a not positive response, then maybe it's not a good thing. But it's definitely something to try. It's better than nothing, right? Something to try. Another thing too that I'm thinking about and kind of trying is pulling energy from the universe as I need it. Last week was really tough for me. I know I didn't post a video last week, and I apologize for that. I actually made myself film 2 videos, but then I found that my battery for my camera was on non-existent, and so luckily I could plug it in while I filmed the videos, but then I had to pull them off to edit and such, and I didn't have enough juice to do that. And so I left the camera on the cord to charge up, and then it never went any further because I was just that tired. And so this week, I'm at work today and I'm like, I've got to film today. I want to do this video and I want to talk about my experiences. So I'm literally conserving my energy and being like, okay, if I need to, I'm going to pull from the universe because I'm going to sit down tonight and I am going to film. And, sometimes that's what we need to do to get through a situation. And there are times when you can do that reciprocity and give energy back to the universe. I think we live in a sympathy or I can't think of the word. We live in partnership with the universe, and sometimes I think it's okay to say, I just need a little extra juice, because we always, when we ground and center, we always kind of give that energy back. And so sometimes that's okay. I wouldn't make it a habit, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Another thing that I try to do to maintain a connection to my practice, as I mentioned earlier, I'm checking out a new YouTuber that I came across. I will watch a YouTube video while I'm getting ready, so, and that's during that whole getting ready thing. You could use that time to watch a video and see how somebody else is doing something, or you could take the time and converse with your guides. It's time that, you're doing things that, I don't know if I want to say you don't necessarily have to pay a huge amount of attention to, but when you're brushing your teeth, you can watch a YouTube video. Or when you're brushing your teeth, you can be thankful or have a conversation with a stone deity or a plant deity or something along those lines. It's all about kind of using your time wisely, I guess is the word. I'm not feeling super eloquent today, folks, so I hope you're kind of hope you're picking up what I'm putting down today. How's that? The last thing that I wanted to talk about is, even though when you have a busy schedule, for example, I'm very busy at work, but there are other things outside of work that I need to accomplish. Sometimes, like I talked about today, you need to conserve your energy so that you can have something to give to those bigger projects, whether it be me sitting down and filming a video, or whether it be me participating in a coven call where we're talking about magical things. You'd sometimes need to conserve your energy so that you can make those big projects. So you've got your head in the game, basically. And you might not always make it, but you can at least try that. So there you go. There's some thoughts that I've had. I would be super interested in knowing if any of you out there, have you had times when you've had like a really busy schedule and you feel like you're not connecting with your spirituality? If so, are there some things that you tried that were successful that I haven't talked about? I would definitely be willing to hear some other suggestions. So if you enjoyed this video or learned something from it, let me know by leaving a comment or by giving a thumbs up. That kind of lets me know that when I do videos like this, they're kind of understood, accepted, whatever the word might be. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. I can feel my energy waning right now, so I'm going to wrap this up real quick. Look at the description box for links for social media, and drop me an email if you want at heartofthewitchespath@yahoo.com. That's going to be it for today. Thanks you guys for taking the time to sit down and listen to what I have to say. And thank you for walking the path for a little while with me. Until next time, blessed be.